Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former number one ranked super featherweight in the world. It is, of course, the main man, Mr. Archie Sharp. Archie, happy new year and welcome back on the podcast, my friend.
Happy New Year, my friend. Hope all is well. Thanks for having me back on.
Always my pleasure, Arch. So we last spoke back in August. It was just after your last fight, the Ghana fight. Looking back on 2024 as a whole, Archie, I know that you're somewhat a spiritual person. Is 2024 a year to forget or a year to remember for you?
I'll tell you what, for me, it's just more about learning. 2024 was a good learning year for myself. Obviously, I had that first fight in May, which just the first round wasn't exactly a great start. And then the fight with, Ghana, didn't go my way. But no, it was a good learning year for myself. And unfortunately, obviously, I generally wouldn't change anything in with the Ghana fight because I'm glad to just put that to bed now, that 2024, now we move on to 2025.
And soon after the Ghana fight, you were posting much more training content on Instagram and stuff than usual. And the training videos look really intense as well. How hard have you been training for now? How long have you been training for now? And how hard has it been, since that Ghana fight?
It was a hard pill to swallow, obviously losing your unbeaten record and to a fighter that I generally believe I can beat. I beat myself on that night. But so yeah, I've been training hard, training really, really hard. But my main learning curve for me was finally giving up that 130 weight. I can't do it anymore. Even though I kept trying to kid myself to do it, I was holding on to the WBO ranking, thinking I was going to get a shot. But like I say, you know me for a long time as well, and everything happens for a reason. I think the loss in the Gardner fight was meant to be, because that was my kick up the arse, if you like, to say, look, you got to go to 135 now, and that's what we've done.
I wanted to ask you more about that. So the move to 135 was purely because it was too difficult to keep making 130 then?
Yeah, I've been wanting to go 135 for probably a couple of years, and to be honest with you, the reason why I stayed at 130 was because of the whole. Like I say, I was holding on to that WBO, gonna get the shot, gonna get the call any time sort of thing, and it never happened. So like I said, I wanted to go up two years ago, it never happened. And I'll be honest with you, if I beat Gardner that night, I'd have stayed at 130, trying to do the EBU, exactly what he's doing, and trying to make 130 again in March. And I just can't do it anymore. It's too tight. It was tight 2 years. But I just kept doing it. And then obviously with the inactivity that I had, I kind of just thought I needed to stay there because that was my power position at 130, being highly ranked with the WBO. But everything happens for a reason, and 135 is ideal for me. It's perfect.
And in your first fight at the weight, you'll be boxing the super, super, super tough Liam Dillon, March 1st in Bournemouth. Obviously, you both shared the ring with Ryan Garner last year. What should we expect to see in that fight, Archie?
There's a few things I've been working on, going back to my old school stuff, and like I said with Ryan Gardner just comes forward. You don't expect anything different. It's the same with Liam Dillon. The only difference is I beat myself against the Gardner fight because I held my feet and I didn't do what I know I can do, which is box and then look good, look slick. This is a perfect fight for me to show everyone what I know I can do and what I should have done back in July. So for me, this is a brilliant fight. I'm excited for it, and everyone's going to see a masterclass performance.
Do you know what? That was actually going to be my next question. I was going to say, obviously, Dillon's a pressure fighter. You've always said that you like fighters who come to you. Maybe you didn't box with the right tactics last time out, but I was going to say, stylistically, this is what you've always said is kind of the perfect fighter for your style.
Exactly that. So that's why the Dillon fight is brilliant for me. He's tough, he's durable, he's game, he comes forward. And I said before, building up to the Ghana fight, Dillon's a punchbag. He's a walking punchbag, and that's what I've got to exploit on the night, and that's what I will do. Whether we'll stop Dillon, I don't know. He's a very tough kid, and it's a hard night's work trying to do that. But all I'm going to do is just showcase a masterclass, and I will not lose a round. And that is what I need to go and do and make a big statement. Because even though Garner beat him, they was in a really good, back and forth sort of fight. I don't want to be doing that. I kind of want to win this every single round and just literally wipe the floor with him.
And Archie, the domestic scene at super featherweight compared to the domestic scene at lightweight, you'd probably have to say that, you know, the lightweight scene's a tougher scene. I mean, obviously at super feather, you had a lot of guys that were kind of knocking on the door for world titles, like Zelfa Barrett. I'm almost accidentally including the likes of, Irishman.
Kakachi.
I'm almost including him. You got a lot of guys, obviously, like Josh Warrington. They're all sort of there, but then there's a big drop down to the likes of like a Reece Bellotti, Jazza Dickens, Jordan Gill, that type of level. But at lightweight, it's quite sturdy.
Yeah, I agree. It's a great weight. Super featherweight was a good weight as well. Lightweight, I probably would say it's a bit better. But yeah, regardless, for me, it's about doing what I need to do, and that's becoming the world champion, like I've said from day dot. And I believe I can do that at lightweight.
And Archie, without looking too far ahead, what is your dream, your realistic dream for the year 2025? You got this fight in March against Dillon. Obviously, you plan to win that fight and look good doing so. But realistically, what do you want to achieve in this calendar year?
So ideally, we'll be by the end of this year, we'll be talking at least for it being in a world title fight for sure. Because we was there at super featherweight. Due to politics, it never happened. Now I'm back with Frank. I'm in a great position. There's some great fights there, and I'm jumping straight in March for another title, which is obviously a Commonwealth silver, which would then put me back in the rankings. And depending what's next after that should kick me on to a big fight for the end of the year.
And by the way, obviously it's not a fight to talk about us, I guess, right now. But if, for whatever reason, Garner were to move to lightweight one day, is that a rematch you'd prefer at 135?
Oh, 100%. But I've already spoken to Wayne Batten, and it doesn't seem like they're coming to lightweight because I couldn't get the rematch before Christmas, which that was my sort of plan after that fight was I wanted to put that to bed, and get that rematch before Christmas, but. I said to Frank, if I do get the rematch, it'll need to be before Christmas because I'm tight at the 130 weight, and I'll only be going back to 130 if that fight's on the table, and it weren't never going to happen. So, and if Ryan Garner moves up, then yeah, of course, it's definitely a fight that I would want to put right. But I don't think he'll be moving up to lightweight anytime soon.
And also, I wanted to get your take on, obviously, you know, the WBO champion at the minute is Ivan Baranchyk. We saw him. Is it Ivan Baranchyk? Dennis Baranchyk, sorry. Saw him beat, I'm getting confused with Ivan Baranchyk, another fighter. Dennis Baranchyk, we saw him beat Emmanuel Navarrete. He's going to be defending against Keyshawn Davis, who for me is one of the best contenders in recent years. I mean, last year he had a fantastic 2024. How do you see that one going?
Yeah, I think Keyshawn wins that. I think Keyshawn does win it. He's a good kid, Keyshawn Davis. So is Baranchyk, but I mean, I think he's a little bit more special, Keyshawn.
Should be a good one. All right then, just before we wrap things up, Arch, like I say, it's always great having you back on. You've been on, I think, more times than any other fighter. If you've got any closing words to the listeners in this new year, then take it away before we let you go, my man.
Just a happy new year to everyone. Stay tuned. Obviously, 1st of March is going to be a great show, and I'm looking forward to putting on a good performance. And yeah, picking up some more titles now in the lightweight division.
We cannot wait, my friend. We cannot wait. March the 1st in Bournemouth. You got to tune in on TNT. You got to be there in person if you can make it over there. As always, Archie, the pleasure's mine. Thanks for your time, and like I say, best of luck on March the 1st, my friend.
No, thank you very much. God bless you, Joe. Thank you.